It's not that I got anything against a guy wearing a Speedo. I just got something against a guy wearing a Speedo, you know? Is that hypocritical of me?
Well, I mean, if the guy wearing the Speedo, I don't care, man. If you like to wear a Speedo, go ahead. Whatever. I don't care. It don't make no difference to me.
I feel like, yeah.
Knock it out. Enjoy it.
Well, I don't know. Let's not say knock it out. Like, ugh.
It doesn't bother me.
I mean, if you want to wear a Speedo, that's fine. Just kind of, I don't know, maybe wear a little longer shirt or something, too. No.
He's just owning it, man. He's owning who he is.
Well, you know, and you gotta appreciate a guy for that, you know, for his comfortability. I mean, he's definitely comfortable with his body and his skin. He's definitely comfortable in his skin. Probably more. I mean, I'm not gonna be caught dead out, you know, wearing a Speedo in public, and definitely not gonna get pictures wearing a Speedo.
Yeah, me either. I'm very concerned about sunburn.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your two favorite facially blessed individuals aiming to misbehave today. It's the two bearded preachers. How y'all doing?
Justin, do you think we're the only ones misbehaving?
No, I think there's quite a few people out there misbehaving. But I don't know if they're misbehaving like I'm misbehaving.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of misbehaviors out there.
Our misbehavior is sort of cheeky and fun, while theirs is cruel and inappropriate.
Exactly. See, that's the thing about our misbehavior. It's funny. It's really funny.
It's just silly.
We say things. We take it to a level, and then we don't pass that level. Yeah, and it's cheeky and it's cute. Like people think it's cute. They're like, oh look at these two guys.
Isn't that nice?
Look at these two middle-aged men talking to each other and recording it. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else.
So, look what I got. Look what I got.
What? What is this?
Look what I got, man. This
what is that thing?
Is what I call, it's called a Fidget Cube. All right?
Okay.
All right. You know what a Fidget Cube is?
I saw it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bunch of little clicky things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like this cube thing. I carry it in my pocket. All right? Mine is black and green. I want a different color. I didn't like this color, but whatever. It got to me faster. It cost me $10.99 on Amazon.
Whoa.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, free shipping. They retail for $30. Okay.
Are you serious?
It's a startup.
$30?
Dude, yeah, but listen, it's a startup. You know what a startup is, right?
Yeah, it's when somebody makes something stupid and then you buy it for $30.
Exactly, Martin.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like a cube.
Mm-hmm.
It's got all these sides on it, and it's like this little wheel that turns, and you can turn it, and then it's got like a joystick, like on your Xbox, and then it's got a light switch. It's got like a little light switch type thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know how like you have the locker on your code?
Yeah, like the dials. Just these little,
like the dials has that, and then it has like a little dice side where you push the buttons and they click. And then a worry stone part. See, it's in.
What is? I don't know what a worry stone is.
Well, it's just
what are you talking about?
You just rub it like this.
Just rub it, huh?
You rub it. Yeah. Well, yeah. And so I kind of, I was like, I guess I was reading about it, and I was like, yeah, that kind of sounds cool. I kind of like that, and I like carry it with me everywhere I go now. And when either I get bored or I'm reading or I'm thinking, I just start clicking it. I click it when I'm driving.
I'm sure Faye loves that thing.
She told me tonight that I was driving her nuts.
You're gonna have to switch to the worry side. That's quiet, right?
Yeah, that was the quiet side. Or the little wheel turn. That's quiet. The joystick. Listen. Mm-hmm. Joystick.
Yeah.
Button.
Not gonna work.
Mm-hmm. Light switch. That's the loudest one. That's my favorite.
I was going to say, the light switch I would think is the most enjoyable.
And the joystick. The joystick is my favorite. Those two are my favorite. But I am kind of a fan of the little dice side with the buttons on it. I'm a fan of that too.
Mm-hmm. When you press one of the dice buttons, do the other ones go up when one goes down?
No. But there's 5 little buttons, and 3 of them click, and 2 of them don't.
Okay, so
and I don't know if it's supposed to be that way. but I'm wondering if they did it on purpose. I don't know why I got to know this, but I feel like I got to know this. Why do 2 out of the 5 not click? Like 3 of them right in a row click, and then 2 of them on each side don't, and I'm a little worried. I'm gonna have to.
That you got a defective. You got a defective dice. There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You feeling better now that you're rubbing the worry side of the?
I do.
Of the Fidget Cube.
I do. It's actually very relaxing. Okay, I don't know. I guess I am a little bit like this, but I guess I am. I don't know. I guess I fidget a little bit, and it's very, very much relaxing. It is, Martin.
Mm-hmm. So this is what you do for fun now. You just play with the Fidget Cube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working today. I'm sitting there working, reading, in Starbucks, clicking. Just clicking.
Did anybody walk up next to you and be like, dude,
I have headphones in too, so I can't hear it. So I'm wondering if somebody is like, man, this jerk, I want to punch him.
If he doesn't stop. Yeah. Do you, when you're working at Starbucks, do you ever talk to people, or do you just sit there and...
No, I talk to people. I talk to the people that are there. They know me by name, and so they know me when I come in now, and they say hi, and they're all real nice to me, and then I see a bunch of people there too, and I talk to people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people come up to me and out of nowhere and start talking. Like I have this, I don't know. It was, I think what it was
people are attracted to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Not like physically, but they're just...
You're like a light to a moth. They just want to get near you.
Pretty much, yeah. I think it's the beard. I'm pretty sure it's the beard. But like I'll have people just start talking to me out of nowhere. And I think it's also because I smile now. Because remember how I told you I decided in 2016 I was going to start smiling more? Yeah. Well, I did. And people talk to me all the time. Yeah. Oh, look, he looks nice. He's smiling. Yeah. Oh, this guy's smiling. So I smile, and then people come talk to me, and I'm like, it's not bad, but sometimes I don't get stuff done. So yeah.
Well, aren't you supposed to talk to people? Isn't that like sort of part of the job?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about taking a day, and instead of working in the office on a particular day, going someplace like that.
Mm-hmm.
And just sitting down and doing my work, so I'm out in public, so I can, grin at people and annoy them with my little clicky cube thing, and
you need to get one.
Be obnoxious. You
need to get one.
Leia would never let me have it.
Why not?
Because I would just click that thing all the time, dude. I'm a fidgety guy too. When I have a pen, I will sit there and click a pen, or I'll flip it around my thumb. I like that. I like doing a pen flip.
Pardon.
But
listen, can I tell you? Don't tell her. Just get one.
Just do it, you say?
Yeah, that's what I did. I just got one.
And just do it and don't ask, and just be like, this is...
It's a Fidget Cube. It's not like you're buying a new car or something like that, or...
I don't know if I got $30 to spend on a Fidget Cube.
No, go on Amazon. You can get it for $10 on Amazon.
Okay. Why is it $30 in some places, but $10 in others?
Martin, that's a mystery that no one will ever know.
No one knows the answer.
Question. I'm not going to ask because I like it for 10.
Yeah. Would you pay 30 for it?
No, I paid maybe 20. Maybe 20.
You would pay 20?
Maybe 20. Like I'm that addicted to it. So,
a clicky pen gives you the same feeling of satisfaction.
Not really. Not really.
No,
because it doesn't have a joystick on that. It doesn't have a joystick on that pen like that. See?
So you can imagine you're playing Xbox, even though you're sitting in the Starbucks reading a book or something.
It doesn't have a worry area. A worry stone rubbing thing.
Yeah, any rock that you pick up in the yard will.
Yeah, but listen, I have it. See how it's indented?
Yeah.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's like you're already worried.
Yeah, it looks like I've been rubbing it for like ever.
Yeah. Have you ever considered that the reason you're so fidgety is because you're sitting in Starbucks all day drinking all that caffeine? Did you ever consider that?
My caffeine intake lately, way down.
Gone down?
Way down.
Going down?
I take it easy. I drink nice and slow. Yeah, it's going down, man. I was drinking a lot. In there. No, I'm not drinking anywhere near as much caffeine. On account of the extreme fidgetiness. Like I'm normally fidgety, just kind of can't keep still and stuff like that. you put a lot of coffee in me, I'm like bouncing off the wall. Like if I have like 2 to 3 cups, I'm sticking now to about 1 cup a day. I'm down to 1 cup, which is good.
How big is that cup though? Is it like a pot?
No, it's not a pot. No, Martin.
Is it size large on the Keurig?
No, it's the.
It's not even the big cup.
It's not the largest one. No.
Really?
No, it's the one down. It's the one down from it on the Keurig.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, hold on, Martin. Hold on.
What?
We got some breaking news. This just in. Infamous Osceola County party place, known as the Sausage Palace. Am I getting this right?
It's the Sausage Castle.
The Sausage Castle. Palace Castle. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Burned down earlier today. It burned down, Martin.
I had heard about that. Leia told me about it. It's amazing.
Wow.
And tragic. Altogether.
And hold on. The reports coming in are saying, just because anybody's wondering, I do have my finger up to my ear like a news reporter.
Yeah. It's very authentic what's going on here.
Yeah, it is. It looks like I'm an actual news. This just into they are saying that the circumstances surrounding the fire are suspicious.
No, not at the Sausage Castle. Not at the Sausage Castle. Nothing suspicious ever went on there.
I thought you just said Sausage Callus.
Why don't you tell everybody what the Sausage Castle is?
Okay, so the Sausage Castle is this nice little breakfast nook that you can go to here in St. Cloud and get a wonderful, right?
All biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy. Yeah, I mean, it's basically first time I heard Sausage Castle, that's what I thought it was. I was like, is it a breakfast place? It's definitely not. You don't want to eat there.
Nah. It's unsanitary. You don't want to touch anything. What it is. No. Certainly not now, since it's all burnt and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, that's just it's the diarrhea icing on the crap cake. That's what it is.
Yeah, sort of. So explain Did you explain what it is? Or not yet?
Okay. No, I haven't explained what the sausage.
Okay.
Sausage Palace?
Castle.
Sausage Castle.
Sausage Palace is a better name.
It is.
Palace is a better name, but
Sausage Kingdom would even be better.
Then it'd have to be like a subdivision instead of just a single house.
True. You're right.
It's like a famous St. Cloud landmark, though, right?
It was.
It was.
So apparently it was. So the Sausage Castle is this pretty infamous little place here in St. Cloud that is basically known for extensive, outrageous, just the over the top parties that incorporate just the most perverse stuff you can ever think of. Yeah. Like if you sat down and tried to think of perversions and weird stuff, that would be normal at the Sausage Castle. Like, yeah. Is that
normally stuff that would make regular people sick? Is like every day there,
or cringe, or just go, oh, that's like a Tuesday. It's like a Tuesday for them.
Very normal.
For us, it's kind of like, ooh, it's just, it hurt, it's painful. You cringe just hearing some of this stuff. But it's actually every day for them. So that's the sauce. It's basically a house of debauchery.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah, house of debauchery.
They
drunken debauchery and lots of drinking. I hear it's a drug-free zone. No, I hear it's drug-free. Other than weed, they don't consider weed a drug.
Okay, all right.
Lots of drinking.
There's no drugs except for the drugs that we allow. No drugs except for the ones that we like.
Which you gotta clarify that. I mean, hey, let's just give that to them. Okay, they did just lose their home. Yeah. So,
well, weed isn't a drug anyway.
It's medicinal.
Yeah, I'm sure it was all medicinal.
Yes, I'm sure it's medicinal. So, but
apparently, I'm gonna have me some medicinal fried chicken later.
Yeah,
I love medicinal fried chicken.
Medicinal bowl of ice cream in a little bit too.
It is medicinal.
It is, man. So basically, I guess this place at 3 a.m. today burnt down to the ground. Yeah. But the interesting part was it was vacant. It wasn't. There was no one in it. Like
the power, that's the surprising thing.
I guess they weren't living there anymore. I don't know where. They regularly, this has been like the 4th or 5th sausage castle. They regularly get kicked out. And this was the one they were in the longest. But they regularly get kicked out because of everything they're doing. And I mean, nobody wants all that on their house, it's
or in their neighborhood, around them.
I mean, and a lot of these places he was renting. He was renting these places.
That just goes to show you, man, you should not rent a house.
No.
If you can avoid it, avoid it. Because eventually they're going to show up in your house and there's going to be some kind of crazy party and
it's going to be a 500-pound naked man in your house and you're in trouble.
There's definitely some weird stuff going on. So the funny thing to me is that I read an article about the Sausage Castle a while ago on Vice.
Yeah, I read that same article.
You read that same one?
Yeah.
And I was shocked because the leader of the Sausage Castle or whatever, he went to Bible college with us.
Yeah, he went to Bible college with us.
That's the amazing part. He's like famous. Well, he's probably the most famous of the FCC attenders or whatever.
Yeah, alumni.
He's not
I don't know if he graduated. So is he?
Yeah, no, he didn't graduate. They kicked him out.
Yeah, alumnus. Yeah, he did. Well, he blames the hypocrisy and stringent rules of FCC for the beginning of his downfall.
See, I don't get that because I didn't feel like the school was all that strict. I mean, I might be wrong.
Well, you grew up in a legit Christian home.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that
it
was
didn't
normal
seem strict to me.
Well, it didn't. Yeah. And I'll be honest, because I'm like I didn't grow up like Mike did. Like I was reading some stories about him and like some interviews he's done about his childhood, and it's pretty jacked up. And some jacked up stuff. And so I don't have anything like that. But I didn't grow up. Yeah, he had a bad upbringing. But I didn't grow up in like a very structured home, nor a Christian home. I didn't grow up in a Christian home. Yeah. And so when I went there, I was coming from a university, the University of South Florida, when I moved there.
And you came from the frat.
I came from like the frat area and stuff like that. I was never in a fraternity.
Keep telling yourself that.
I wasn't. I really wasn't. I would never pay for something like that. Come on, man. I'm too cheap.
I never pay for my friends.
I don't pay for friends. So, no. But I'll say this. That's right. It was like, I noticed that, like, because I wasn't, but I don't balk at rules. I was just like, I actually, whatever. I used to, with it. Yeah, I just was like, oh, well, that's kind of a stupid rule, but whatever. Like, I kind of thought that. And every once in a while, I'd break the rules, not on purpose. I wouldn't be like, but then when I broke them and they told me, I'm like, my bad. And I would, I used to have like earrings and everything, and guys couldn't have earrings.
Yeah, the earrings, they're like a pirate.
Hey, you can't have earrings. Yeah, I was like a pirate. And they're like, hey, you can't have earrings. And I was like, my bad. I didn't know they were in. Yeah. And I don't know if I did know they were in or not. I just was like, oh, my bad.
Okay.
So I stopped, And then one time I showed up into the, like, and here's the deal. Some of the rules, let's be honest, Martin, were kind of stupid. There were some stupid rules, like no shorts in certain areas. Like, hey, you can't wear shorts in this one building. I mean, come on. It's not the holy of holies. I went to go. I couldn't wear shorts to go check my mail.
Really?
Yeah, man.
You could wear shorts in the sub. That's where the mail was.
I didn't get my mail in the sub. Why I was an off-campus guy. I had to get my mail. I had to get my mail in the front office, and in the front office, if you wore shorts, you were in trouble.
I didn't know that. I never went to the front office.
Yeah, I got yelled at a number of times because I, walked in and like, hey, here to get my mail. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't change into my pants before I came in here after I was out playing soccer or something like that, you know? And so like some of those kind of like little things, I can understand how that would annoy someone because it kind of annoyed me too, but I'm not like a real stickler, but I can see how some of that stuff annoyed him, But then again, he was getting in a lot more trouble. I mean, I was just wearing shorts, and he was doing, from what I kind of picked up, a little bit more than that. Just Probably a little worse. Yeah.
Well,
I'm not saying there's a varying degree on sin. I'm just saying, hey, he's a little off the handle.
Well, I mean, I think it brings up a pretty good question, where at what point do the rules that we place upon ourselves and others, at what point do they infringe upon the communication of the gospel? Like, because you take somebody like Mike, and he had a rough upbringing, but he ended up at Bible college for some reason or other, and somehow the experience at Bible college
pushed him away.
Yeah, pushed him away. Now, when I went there, I didn't feel like it was terribly hypocritical or anything like that. The rules didn't seem odd to me or whatever, but I was coming from a place where that was already pretty. My upbringing was very structured, and there were rules in place.
It was already ingrained. It was already ingrained in you.
Right. So that the behavioral things they really didn't bother me. It's whatever. So I wonder if we do a disservice. Of course, you look at it, and it's a bunch of 18-year-old kids, and it's the first time they're away from home. Really, they probably need more structure, or else they're going to lose their minds. Now, you started going there a little bit older than most people. When I was an old man when I went. Yeah, geezer.
Yeah, geezer. Yeah. I was like drinking age, like 21 when I started going.
Do you think that the rules there, like, do you get what he's saying?
I understand. Like I said, I understand some of it. Well, you know what? I understand him and his struggle with it, but I don't think that's. I think it's an excuse. Like, I think it comes down to an excuse. I mean, like, here's the deal. Like, I didn't necessarily agree with the rules, but I was there for a purpose, and I accomplished my purpose. And if I had to live by those rules in order to accomplish that purpose, so I did it.
Yeah.
But that's me. I wasn't out. And as much as, like, some people like try to describe me as being rebellious. Man, I wasn't rebellious. I was actually, for the kind of guy I was kind of coming in there, I was very much open to learn. And, I might have, I was a little bit of a smart aleck and stuff like that, And,
no, I don't believe it.
You don't believe that? I'm more now.
Just kidding. You didn't pick up on the sarcasm. Yes, I totally believe it. It makes perfect sense to me.
A little bit.
That you're a smart aleck. Yeah. You've not
but
grown out of it. You still are.
No. I'm probably worse now. Yeah, I'm definitely worse.
Like, but you're better at it, so that's good.
I am better at it.
Yeah.
Better
Much
looking,
improved.
too. Yeah.
That's right.
Everything.
Tell you that.
Everything's. Thank you.
You're much better looking than you used to be.
But I used to be. Well, a beard will do that for you. But no, like, I do understand it, and I get what he's saying, but for me, it wasn't like a source of contention, because I was like, I had a purpose. I had a reason for doing this, and so I did it. But I do get it, and I understand why people would struggle with it, because like for example, like, now, all right, we'll say it this way, because those of you that don't know our history, we graduated from Florida Christian College, and we don't know what to call it anymore because it's now a different college, but essentially we are distant alumnus of Johnson University because they changed over.
We're like cousins.
We're like cousins.
Something like that. Yeah.
We're like the redheaded stepchild.
We are.
Of Johnson University now. And so, but the thing is that now Johnson is taking a lot of those rules that FCC had, and they're changing them. They've changed. Like, it'll be funny because I have friends that work at the college, and they're like, "Hey, you wouldn't believe what rule they changed now?" And like, guess what? Guess what the most recent rule is?
Shorts are now allowed in the library.
No.
They're not allowed in the
Rated R
library yet.
movies. Remember the rated R movie one?
Yes, that was probably the most difficult rule for me to keep. I did not keep it during the summertime. In the summertime, I do what I want.
Yeah. I didn't hold to that rule too well at all.
Yeah.
My bad.
You're
bad.
a terrible person, Justin. Terrible.
Yeah. But they don't have that rule anymore.
Oh, no?
So I'm okay.
So now all the kids...
So they got rid of it.
Retroactively, you're good. Since they changed it. So it's all right now.
I'm grandfathered in.
Welcome to intermission. Yeah, intermission.
I'm optimistic. I think this year for the church, I think we made some headway last year. You know what I mean? I think this year we're going to open her up. I really feel pretty positive about it. I think that we got some serious opportunities. I think we're making some moves as far as setting up our youth ministry a little bit. I think if we can get that piece in place, then we're going to be able to rock and roll pretty well and make some serious gains this year. And the ministries that we're doing in evangelism, and that's something that I'm going to be pushing more heavily this year, is that we need to be evangelizing the community. And I think that by doing that, we're going to see some positive effects. So I'm optimistic. I think this is going to be a good year for us. What about you? You feeling good about this year?
You should introduce Pray for One to your congregation.
I was thinking about doing something along those lines. What I've got in mind is something pretty close to that. Well, Andy Powell's, he came and did a revival for us I guess it was 2 years ago now. And he sort of introduced that kind of idea that you should do the Pray for One and bring him in. And I was thinking about doing something along those lines. Because the beauty of that is its simplicity.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't rocket science.
Do it. No. And I mean, it's like, it just makes sense. It makes total sense. And it gives people I think it also helps people to be aware. It helps people be aware. I'm in the middle right now. We're casting vision right now, and we're pushing big time for evangelism aspects and stuff, and talking to people, to sharing your faith, and inviting people to church. We're pushing that real big right now. And I told you, last year I had all these goals, right? I had the 20% goal. I wanted to grow 20% in service, 20% in giving, 20% in attendance throughout the whole thing. And so, I shared last week, where we ended up for 2016, and we met our goal for serving. Okay, so we hit 20% in serving, so we grew there. We exceeded our goal in giving. We grew 28%, which
that's a big gain.
That is unprecedented. In my opinion, I think that's unprecedented. I mean, it when I saw that, I was just when I announced that, the whole congregation started applauding, which was really cool. It was really cool to hear that. And then, for attendance, we didn't quite meet our goal. We only got 19% growth.
Shameful.
I know, Martin. I don't. It's crazy because I'm are you kidding me? 19%. One.
Are you upset with that?
Okay.
Are you upset by that?
Listen.
You should be super happy by that, bro.
Oh, I am. Look,
it's wonderful.
Trust me, I am.
Huge.
I'm super. It is totally huge.
Yeah.
But I'm hung up on this freaking 1%. I'm hung up on it.
You need to let it go.
Because listen, because here it is. I'm for me, because it's you know what? I'm not really mad about the 1%. I'm not really mad because it leads me into a great sermon for this week. Okay, I'm just gonna say it that way. It leads me. It's a great.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
I'm going with how the shepherd leaves the 99 and gets the one, and so the one, and I'm going for it because and we're talking about and so I said that 1%, because there is something about it that bothers me. Here we are all year long praying for one. God, give us one person to share your love with, and we're just praying, and we're bringing people in, and we fall, and we say our goal is 20%. We fall 1% short, and so for me, I'm just going, okay, who was that one? Who was it? What was it? Who did we miss? Who didn't come? And so my push for this week is, here, we have the same heart that God has. And it's for that one that he will go to find the lost and everything. And to say, you know what? Here's the deal. Let's recommit to praying for one, and let's not forget about the one that maybe we might have missed. Because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, who did I miss? Who could I share it a little bit more with? Who could I spend a little bit more time with? And so for me, it bothers me, but it doesn't like upset me, but it challenges me. It challenges me. And I'm just like, all right.
Do you know what I think you should
forget
do?
About that one. What?
I think you should demand 21% this year because they owe you one.
Yeah.
It's got to be 21 this year.
We're going. I'll say that at the end of service. We need 21%, okay? Because we got to make up for last year.
Me. Yeah, that's right. Make it 22 interest.
Yep.
You owe me that 1%, and you owe me a percentage
plus interest.
Plus interest. The interest is important.
It's very important. The interest is very important. So, but no, that's
nice. How much did you work that? How much did you communicate that to the congregation that you were trying to do 20%?
Throughout the whole year?
Throughout the whole year? Did you mention it
most Sundays? It wasn't
all
like
Sundays? Or what?
As far as attendance goes, we talked about, we prayed every single Sunday. Every Sunday we start off with pray for one. Okay? It many times would come up in the sermons as well. But every Sunday we start off with praying at the start of our service. And then at the end of the service, I always remind everybody, don't forget as you leave, we need to be praying one. Who's one person to share your love? Don't forget to pray for one. I say it every single Sunday. Like I am a broken record. When they walk out the door, we have it painted across the back of our door. Pray for one as they walk out the door as a reminder. And so it's literally like we inundated that. But we made our goals very much known. And then we would post in our bulletin once a month what our, where we were at with our goals and everything, like what our attendance was, what our giving was and everything. I didn't necessarily post as much on the serving because that was the hardest one to measure. That's the hardest one to measure.
It's tough to track.
Yeah, it is. But we exceed it so much in children's ministry and other areas, people getting involved, and then people getting involved with the Place for Grace. We easily met that one. But all the other ones were easy to measure. The other ones were very easy to measure. But yeah, it was all about communication. And I think you don't always have to keep like the percentage. I don't feel like you have to keep the percentage, like saying, hey, don't forget we're doing this every single Sunday. I think you can bring it up. And here's the thing, I probably should have done it more. That in hindsight, I'm thinking I probably should have reminded it more. But the main thing we did was the focus was that praying for one every single Sunday. Every Sunday. And if I wasn't there, then Dana did it. He reminded everybody. It was just it became our DNA. And it became a part of everything that we're doing. And so
now you just got to double down on it.
Yeah, that's
double
basically
down.
It. Recommit to pray for one. Recommit to pray for one. Yeah. And so I like it worked out real well for us. So
oh, good. I had a question for you. This is something that I've been kicking around lately. You tell me if it's crazy or not. Discipleship, like personal discipleship, is fueled by evangelism. Personal discipleship is fueled by evangelism. That's what I've been thinking lately.
Why have you been thinking that?
I don't know. Because I've considered the different times in my life where I felt like my discipleship was waning, right? And sort of flagging and not taking it too seriously and being sort of casual with regard to personal sin and that sort of thing. And one thing that I noticed in all of those times, they've all been times where I've not been taking evangelistic efforts or attempts or whatever seriously. It's when I'm not communicating the gospel to people that my desire for personal holiness, personal growth sort of falls off. And I'm wondering, and the way that I've been thinking about it is that, and what I've noticed also is that when I am actively sharing the gospel with people, then I feel this greater desire for personal holiness, personal discipleship, drawing closer to God, that sort of stuff. So I don't know if that's crazy, and I don't know that there's necessarily biblical support for that. But just in my own personal experience, it seems like a lack of evangelism leads to a laissez-faire approach to personal discipleship and personal holiness. That's just what I've noticed in myself. Have you experienced that? Or what do you think?
Now, when you say personal discipleship, you're focusing on just your personal walk,
right?
With
me.
God.
Just
okay,
me.
Yeah, you're just focusing on you. Here's the deal. If you're sitting here saying, hey, evangelism is the fuel of discipleship, of my own personal, of me growing holier, me growing close to the God, I would say that probably, even to take it a step further, that the fuel of even evangelism is the relationship aspect. Like I don't sit here and think to myself, I don't sit here and I think, all right, I'm going to grow close to God because I'm evangelized. And I think it's like this. I think it's like almost like a wheel that keeps going around. Like I can't know God, okay, without, or I can't be holy without God, but I can't evangelize without God. And if I can't evangelize, and so I think they all intertwine together, and I don't think it's really, you can separate them out. Like if you're going to be, and here it is. David said this. I preached about this last week. He says, "It is my desire, it is a desire in my heart to do your will." Okay, he says that in the Psalms, and he says it's my desire to do your will. Like it pleased, and translate it into the Hebrew, it pleased him to please God. Meaning, he was pursuing holiness and he was pursuing righteousness. It pleased him to do the will of God and to know God and to live for God. This whole aspect, including, and that's the thing for us as we look into the whole thing. If we love God, what do? We obey his commands. What is one of the key commandments? And one of the key commands that he tells us, it's to go and to share this that we have. So I don't think you're wrong. I think it's just, I think you're exactly right. But I think it's like, if we're growing, then we're sharing. And if we're sharing, then we're growing. And it all is intertwined together. And that's,
so you're thinking about it more as in a cyclical idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if you stop any of the, and it's the thing, we'll just say it like this, because I always talk about how, it's important to know God, but it's also important to know God. It's to know him personally, but it's to know him intellectually as well. So we take any of those things out, we take evangelism out, and if something's missing, and we stop the growth. But if we take the intellectual aspect out, and we learning about God intellectually, then we're missing out as well. I don't, the guys, the men that I look up to, and I sit and say, I'd like my relationship with God to be modeled after them, are not those that are just compassionate and not those that are just touchy-feely or those that are just intellectually, above everything. It's the one that has the combination of both. Because I feel like that is how we're called to know God, is to know him both intellectually and intimately, personally. So I think when you have both those, that's the culmination of a true walk with God and being a disciple. So I don't think you're wrong. I think that, I think I just kind of talked a little bit more and put more words into the whole thing. But I think you can't have a relationship with God if you're not going to be evangelizing, because if you're not evangelizing, then you're not obeying. You're not obeying, then you're not loving. And if you think about it this way too, what does he say? The world knows who you are if you love one another. It all comes, it's like full circle. See what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm trying to figure out the third. I like thinking about things
in threes.
In threes, yeah. And it feels like evangelism would be your would be evangelism, would be your situational, and discipleship would be your existential, and then your knowledge would be your normative. So it'd be evangelism into okay. Because I really like John Frame's triperspectival epistemology that says that we know things in three different ways. We know things by what's been revealed to us in Scripture. We know things by our experience in community, and we know things by our individual experience, right? So the normative, the situational, and the existential, right? So evangelism would be the situational, where you are communicating in community. Mm-hmm. The existential would be the personal discipleship and draw to holiness, and the normative would be the intellectual, mm-hmm. the knowledge of God. And I think that that's the one that I was missing. I was missing the intellectual, and I was also missing that the interrelatedness. I was just thinking about it in terms of evangelism prompts discipleship, which for me is what I think was the issue. But what you're saying makes a lot of sense, because the more that you are drawing close to God, the existential perspective, the more you'll be prompted to want to know Him, the intellectual, and the more you'll be prompted to communicate the gospel, the existential, or the situation. So, okay, thanks. You helped me out there. That's good. And then it would go back the other way too.
Yeah. Well, because I think that, with you and I think what you were experiencing and what you were kind of talking about is that when you didn't have that evangelical aspect, you felt like that other part of you wasn't growing. But at pretty much every single time, what did you have? You had the third part was the knowledge. You were always worked on the knowledge. Like that's your stick, man. That's what you're dealing with. Yeah. But for me, I'm the opposite. I wouldn't focus as much on the knowledge, but I would focus more on the relational evangelism. But same thing results when we pick and choose. I'm going to be one of those Christians that shares the love of God, or is very evangelical, but I don't know a whole lot about Scripture. You're not as strong as you could be, and you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle big time, And it's not saying that everybody has to be, the most amazing evangelist ever, and doesn't mean everybody has to be the most intellectually brilliant when it comes to God's word and know everything. But there's a balance, and you need to understand that and feed both of those. And if you feed them, then you grow.
Would you think that a lacking in one of these areas would reduce your ability to grow in the others?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. See,
I feel, because here's the deal. The more for me, I have to study more, or I have to read more, and I have to, feed myself intellectually more than I normally have a tendency to do. When I do that, it helps me with evangelism. It grows me in evangelism because, I love talking with people. I love hanging around people. And so I can take what I learn and I can share, and it's very natural for me. But if all I'm doing is the evangelism, and I'm not feeding myself spiritually with God's word, or even other outside sources to help me to understand God's word better, I'm not feeding myself intellectually, then I'm not the best I can be evangelically. And so I think, yes, absolutely. And then in turn, spiritually, I'm wavering, spiritually with my walk with God, with my struggle with whatever's going on in life, I'm waning there too. So I think absolutely if you neglect one, it can, I'm not saying it always does, say it can affect others.
And I would think that it would limit your effectiveness in those other areas. So if you, let's assume that that's accurate, right? And let's assume that Yeah, which is, since we're spitballing here, let's assume that that's accurate. Would that also be applicable on a congregational level? To where if your congregation is, will their ability or interest to learn the things of God wane if they're not communicating the things of God, or if they're not living out the things of God?
Sometimes as a man, I'm a very conservative swimmer. Yeah, I'm a very conservative swimmer. So sometimes I wear a shirt too.
You wear the shirt
on account. I don't want to expose my nipples to cause people to stumble.
Yeah, because that's what's causing everybody to stumble, Justin. Your nipples. Well, they're very nice.
As long as we both agree with it. I do have very nice nipples. They're perfectly symmetrical.